So today's guest, Mr. the one and only Atlas Builders, Atlas Well guy. He's the Atlas man, Mr. Cody Givens. What's up, brother?
What's going on, Chad?
Oh man, just living a dream out here in this beautiful day. How about yourself?
The Atlas Pool man, too. Don't forget that.
Atlas pool guy. Well, I can't afford a pool yet, but I have supported the Atlas House and Atlas Well, so Atlas Pool's next, maybe.
I sure
So
hope so. I know it'd fit great in the backyard.
yeah, it would. So Cody Givens, you're a builder. What got you into Well, tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
That's correct. I am. I'm a residential home builder. They're also in the water well business and the swimming pool business. I started my business career in landscaping, and then little by little worked my way up into excavation and then remodels, and then also got into some construction work, which forced me to go get my contractor's license, and just natural progression of building small homes and spec homes, and just little by little kept growing and growing, and the demand kept going, and thankfully our community and county kept growing, and so I did right there with it.
Yeah, that's one thing we do have in common. I started out mowing yards as well. Started out when I was 15, I guess. Actually took over. My brother graduated college when I was 15 years old. He had a little business, and I took it over. And I used to have to wait till my dad gets home, where he would drive me around mow yards and stuff. Or I guess when I got my permit, Mom would ride with me. She wouldn't mow, but she would ride with me so I could drive, and we'd go mow some yards stuff. But that's good. So you went from mowing yards so you're an East Tennessee guy, first of all, right?
Born and
Graduated
raised right here in Sevierville.
right in Sevierville.
I was born at LeConte Hospital, went to Sevier County High School, Walter State, University of Tennessee, and then got my bachelor's in business administration through King University, doing the night program, because at that point I had started my landscape company, and it was certainly more lucrative to be growing that in college as opposed to be on campus. So I was able to finish out. I was able to mow all day and do landscaping all day, run my business, and then I was going to class from 6 to 10 o'clock at night to finish up my bachelor's degree.
So you've always been a hard worker, huh?
Always been right here. I've never lived too far from this spot, so.
All right. Well, that's good. That's good. So what's changed in the past from when you started, I guess, when you started building, when you first started getting into it? What's changed from that until today? What's your biggest changes?
I mean, everything's changed since then.
Well, tell me about your business. So you've got you a pretty good amount of employees and stuff, right?
Yep. So we went from doing a lot of work ourselves to the volume was not being conducive to that any longer, and so we got into more management style. So when we first started, we were driving nails and being very hands-on. But as the demand grew, we started implementing, more of a corporate structure with project managers, superintendents, and leaning on other companies to help us and other sub-bases to help us as well, which was able to allow us to build significantly more homes and do it in a quicker time span, and ultimately in a more economical, which for the spec stuff helped us on our profit side, but it was also allowed us to build things cheaper for our customers by having negotiation power with our other subcontractors and being a vital source of their workload.
Mm-hmm. How many employees y'all got right now at the Atlas Builders, I guess?
Oh gosh, probably, well, it depends. If you just count the W-2 guys, we're probably just shy of 10. But when you go to the sub-base, we could have up to, any given day, 200 guys working in the field that we're overseeing and managing.
What's your projects you got going on right now?
We've got a little bit of everything. I mean, we just finished up a 650 square foot house, and we just finished up a 6,000 square foot 10-bedroom cabin, golf simulator, pickleball court, indoor swimming pool, and spa. So we're doing a little bit of everything. We're also doing some single family. We're doing some spec built stuff, some starter homes. We're doing really, a vast majority of everything. We try to keep about one of everything going, and if not two or three of them, to stay diversified in the market. and to meet the needs of whether the short-term rentals are hot, whether it's people moving in here looking
Right.
for homes. We try to provide a good product
What is
for.
what's the biggest demand right now for your company, you think?
Biggest demand is primary residences for people
Mhm.
that are either looking to come out of their rent situation into purchasing their first home, or people looking to move into the area who are looking to purchase a home as well. So we're seeing our sub 500 house right now is seem to be the hottest item on the market. Short-term rentals have cooled down, but they're seasonal regardless. I mean, there's times of the year when you want to bet the house on them, and then there's others where you think it's come to an end. But our
Mhm.
residential market, sub 500, seems like it's unwavering. There's the phone's always ringing to either build them for people or to buy the ones that we're building.
Right. Yeah, I wish I had 10 right now for sale, but it's a hard market. So what's some of the biggest challenges you face with those type of housing, building affordable housing for somebody?
Biggest challenges:
Finding lots.
acquiring property to build these houses on seems to be the hardest. If they're good
Hmm.
lots, they're extremely expensive, and then it pushes you out of being able to make the numbers work for either first-time home buyers, retirees, people not looking to build a homage to themselves, but to have a nice product. And it forces you into building a much larger project. So right now, if I could have some more property and some more lots, that's really what's bottlenecking us down.
Right. No development going on at all. The infrastructure is just too high. I can't find. I mean, we look every day for properties, and it's tough, really tough. So you've got a little bit of everything going on right now.
We sure do.
You got
We've
cabins.
got a we've got some
I hear
fix and
you've got a
flips
really
going.
nice cabin up there on top of Bluff Mountain. Tell me a little bit about
We
that one.
do. You can see as far as you can see. There will be nothing stopping you
Your
except for the
eyesight.
clouds.
Right. Speaking of
So
Florida, what are you doing hanging out in Florida so much?
trying to stay warm.
Huh?
I
Is
got
it not
some.
warm enough in Tennessee?
Well, it is now, but it seems like there's about 4 months out of the year that not conducive to construction. So
So is Atlas thinking about maybe a little adventure down in Florida in the future?
I don't think so. I think that we've planted our roots here. I think we're here to stay
Okay.
and build in this community. We know the market, we know the needs, we know what people are looking for. We also want to be good stewards to our community and building things that are synonymous with the housing market that's here. And I don't know Florida's market that well, so we're not going to recreate the wheel down there. We're going to just keep trucking along and doing what we know how to do well
Trucking
right
on.
here.
All right. So you've taken this business and you've built a pretty good business here, Cody. So what's been the key to it? What's been the key to your success?
Key to success, first and foremost, doing what you say. Being honest and standing behind your word. Seems like that's half the battle up here when we're dealing with subcontractors and hearing about other people that have had bad experiences. And so, just having integrity and doing what you say that you're going to do and provide a good product for somebody. And if you don't, go back and fix that product and answer the phone and look people straight in the eye. And,
You're not
and
looking me in the eye, you're
ultimately,
looking down.
at the end of the day, we are, putting out a product that somebody's going to live in ultimately for the rest of their life or multiple people to the end of their life. And, we take some value in that, and we want to turn out something that we're proud of, not just after our 1 year warranty, but going on down the road into 20, 30 years. A
Right.
home's going to be the most expensive purchase that most people buy. And, we want to give them a good value for what they get.
Yeah. You done, you built my home. We really enjoy it. So you built my house. Great guys. You got some really good guys working for you too. And what's it like hiring in the field, in your field today? Getting the key players on your company.
Yeah.
What's the obstacles and what do you run into?
One is finding them, and then two is once you acquire them, keeping them. The construction industry is a revolving door for employees, and so when you get a good one, you really have to strategically try to keep those guys and take care of them and build some loyalty and be a good fit, not only for them for you, but for you for them. There's always the next construction company looking for an awesome guy. So the leadership that everybody wants is becoming few and far between nowadays. I don't think it was back, 20 years ago. Finding people to have integrity and to show up every day and want to put out a good product and not just collect a paycheck seems to be getting fewer and fewer. And so, we try to acquire good guys and then take care of them and see their value and know what they're worth and remind them of that. Because I'm sure that there's always somebody knocking on their door or calling their phone, looking to get them. All the good superintendents, the good guys in the construction industry, you hear about them long before they ever become available. So,
Right. Yeah. Ed, how'd you come up with Ed? He's
family
been
friend.
family friend.
Yeah. Ed was a family friend. He's been in construction probably about as long as I've been alive. Ed worked on the largest log cabin built in America down at Disney. And he did some time working for the Disney company, building for them and their construction department, and then has worked for various residential as well as commercial contractors in the area. And so it was a real gem when I landed at Ed. He's a wealth of knowledge.
Right. It's always good to have that key guy too working for you, for sure. So you started I guess was it the construction company before was that the second business that you started after
Yep,
the?
that's correct. I had my landscaping company, and then I started my construction company. And,
So, what made you think, man, I need another business to go into? I'm only building. How many houses are you building, or were you building when you said maybe I ought to get into the well business?
we were building between 25 and 30 homes a year. We were either starting or closing about one every 2 weeks. Well drilling was a very niche market, hard to get guys to come just sheer demand. And one thing I've tried to do over the years is in business with speeding up and gaining control of the subcontract base is bringing anything in-house that we run into. So when we hit a roadblock or a struggle with our workforce, is saying, hey, how can we eliminate that so that on the next house we don't have to hit that same struggle, that same roadblock? And it typically ends up either buying out a company or starting your own to bring it in-house to where you have complete control of it, to where on the next project you don't have that roadblock. And I've tried to slowly do that over time and acquire businesses and bring in companies and hire the right guys to where ultimately I'll run out of roadblocks and we'll be completely in-house.
Right. So, was that a good move on your part?
Yeah, it's been very advantageous, not just from scheduling and being able to control our timelines, but also, profitability. It's a very profitable business, just like swimming pools are. So it not only does it help us control our projects better and be able to speed up and eliminate roadblocks, but it also, is another avenue of revenue.
When did you buy into the well business? What year was it?
Just shy of 4 years ago. I think we're coming up on, I believe in June is when I bought my drill. So we're about to celebrate our 4th year of drilling. Drilling water wells, pump installation, and then full service as well. So we drill the well and put in all your pressure systems and then service it after the fact as well.
Right. Yeah. What about, so you did that and then swimming pools were next?
That's right. Swimming pools were getting to where we were on a 4 to 6 week lead time to get anybody to come out. And so we just said, hey, we know how to do this. We hired the right guys, started doing them ourselves. That way we could control our timeline, and we were able to cut a 4 to 6 week lead time down to 7 to 10 days. So right out of the gate, we just saved ourselves a month on the build.
Right.
Not only did we save the time, we were able to in-house the profits from that, as well as the logistics of not being, having other contractors slid in before us or getting a runaround. There was no middleman to muddy the water or to slow us down.
So how old are you?
I'm 34 years old.
How are you thinking this big at 34 years of age?
I still feel 24.
There's a lot of 30-year-old guys. They're still playing the Xbox, man.
Yeah, I wish I would have started at 14 instead of 24. So I feel like I'm still behind the 8 ball here, trying to get going. I see you can always look to the guy that's bigger than you. And anytime you get a big head and think you're doing well, there's always somebody that's figured it out quicker and faster than you. And I try to.
How old was you when you started? How old was you when you started?
When I started my landscape company at 21 years old, And then I started my construction company. I believe I was 27 years old when I created Atlas Builders. We had been doing construction-oriented projects prior to that, but when we started doing our full turnkey service,
Well,
about was
7
about 20.
years.
Yep, that's correct.
Man, that's good, Cody. I didn't realize it's been that short of a time. So you went from construction to your wells and then the pools. And what's next? What's next for Atlas?
I don't know. I wondered the same thing. I was having a conversation with one of my good buddies the other day, and he's got an operation similar to mine and going 100 miles an hour in a bunch of different directions. And he said, I'm kind of bored. I want to start something. And I thought, here I am, working 50 plus a week, and I think I might be kind of bored too. So I don't know what I'm going to start next, but it's certainly on the horizon. One thing that's always interested me was floor coverings, concrete floor coverings, whether it be epoxy or acrylics, doing pickleball courts and doing these floors inside these houses on slabs that look like marble, and you've got rivers running through them. And
That's cool.
that's
cool.
that's next level stuff that I think can really set us apart. There's not hardly anybody in the
And
area
it's
doing that.
expensive too.
It's expensive, which means
Yeah,
it's
it's expensive. Wow.
profitable.
Lucrative.
But
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
see anybody doing that in our area, and it's just another way that we can set ourselves apart and offer a product that's just a little bit better and just a little bit different to stand out, so that when people are searching for homes on Zillow, we can be the only one of this. So,
All right. So
it
let's jump
works.
back on that real quick then. So you're in the log cabin business and building all these cabins. How hard is it to sell a cabin in East Tennessee right now?
Well, it depends on who you talk to. It can be very hard or it can be very easy. It depends.
Well, what makes them stand out? You just
Buyers
touched on it.
nowadays are not just looking for cabins. They're looking for experiences. They're looking for financially wise properties that are cash flowing currently or going to cash flow in the future. So the days of building cabins and just selling them with your buyers just scrounging trying to grab them have come to an end. So you now have to be very strategic in what you buy, whether it be location and or amenities as well, to be able to offer a product to somebody that's going to warrant the rents. Rents across our county are down, not only by volume, but also by numbers. Our revenue is down as well. So we try to, when we spec build homes, we try to offer something that's much better than what somebody else is doing, whether we offer a view, we give them a pickleball court and outdoor space, such as fire pits and recreation areas. Indoors, we're doing golf simulators. We're doing movie theater rooms with stadium seat. We're doing karaoke stands inside. We're doing full custom swimming pools. We're going to be doing some grottos. We do waterfalls in them. We do built-in spas. And we are trying to do so and keeping in mind that somebody's going to have to rent this one day. And so we're budgeting it in a way that when somebody's able to acquire this cabin, they're able to do it at a price that makes sense to put it on a market like Airbnb or VRBO and rent it and be able to positive cash flow on that cabin. And if you cannot do that, then your cabin will just sit there. And the market's got the data that says you can go look at 100 three-bedroom cabins today if you'd like, and there's only going to be a handful of those that are actually going to make money for you. The rest of those are going to take some work to do so.
What's the must-have that you put into every cabin?
Swimming pools, I think, is what it is. We get the most compliments and or reviews on good spaces for people to enjoy without having to go and spend money. When they spend a significant amount of money to come and stay at a house for the weekend, they don't want to feel like they have to leave to go and do
I think
an
that's the key. I think that's the key, man. If you can get them to your place where they don't have to go spend another, just how much it costs to go ride a coaster or play putt-putt with your family. If you can keep them there without them going out and spending $500 to $1,000 that night, I think that's a win.
That's exactly right. To take your family to Dollywood for the day, if you're not a local, it's probably about $1,000 by the time you buy your funnel cakes and your kettle corns and your cinnamon bread and your admission. And so having things there, whether it be, the outdoor spaces, we do playgrounds, we do basketball courts. I've put basketball courts inside of houses. So giving them something to where, the kids can be entertained and the adults can have their space to hang out and they're able to spend some time at the cabin and not just say, all right, we're bored, what's the next thing? It's really tenfold on your money. And it's the difference between your property moving and your property sitting. And I think that the top 25% of the properties continue to move. They continue to be sold and created and sold. And the other 75% just get lost. They're just out there and they just don't move like stagnant water, whereas your good properties are continually selling. So it's a tricky market, but it's not a bad market. And you can do well in it as long as you're strategic, but you have to be just that nowadays, whereas the overnight rental market in the Smokies 2 years ago was quite different. It was everybody just wanted one. But now people are really seeing the numbers and realizing that if you do this and you put some time and thought into it, it can be a very profitable business. And if you don't, it can be just the opposite.
Right. What about today's economy? Is it affecting your business? Just the recent economy, like the gas prices and all that, is that affecting, you think, the new buyers maybe for the summer? What are you thinking? Or have you thought about it?
It seems like in the housing market, we feel everything late. There's so much pre-planning and time that goes into either purchasing a house or building a house that a lot of times when things like gas prices spiking, everybody's already in motion for the current, but it will spook the guy that's ready to start today. So we feel that negative wave or positive wave of interest rates either rising or falling. We feel it months after the fact. So I would anticipate our rentals to be down just due to economic costs, the cost of travel, and then we will see those numbers trickle in, when we review them next year for the year previous, and then it will affect our markets. So I haven't seen anything negative today, but we can predict that it's going to. When interest rates first started rising, we didn't feel any of that for probably about 6 months. And then all the guys that said, hey, I'm going to pause. I don't want to build currently because the rates are going up. We felt that on the next wave.
Right, yeah. Last time, though, when we had an incident like that, cost of gas going up, it kind of helped us because where we're located, there's just so many people, it's easy to get to, coming to the Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge. So I'm hoping that East Tennessee will benefit a little bit about instead of going on flying places because, airline tickets are crazy high right now. Cruises, you got to drive so far to get to a cruise or fly, either one. So hopefully they'll land here in Sevier County again like they did last time. So,
hey, instead of flying to Europe, you can come stay in a cabin that we've built that has all the amenities and don't have to spend any money on extracurricular activities. Several of the cabins we have under construction right now and or under contract to sell have got the kitchens. So for your family gatherings, your reunions, 2 stoves, two microwaves, 2 refrigerators, the whole 9 yards. Some of these cabins are sleeping, upwards of 24 people.
Wow. I don't know that I have 24 friends.
You got 24 family members.
That's true. That is true. That's true. So what's a pickleball court, basketball court? What's the must-have for a cabin? If I had a cabin in the mountains that's struggling a little bit with the rental numbers, but I had a space big enough to put something outside, what would you do? Playground, pickleball court, what would bring people in?
So we would start with the pickleball court because it can be multi-purpose. We build a court and then we stripe it, and you can put your rollable fence on it. You've got pickleball. Mm-hmm. We also can put a basketball on it, so now you got basketball. But you've also got an area now to play cornhole for the kids to get out and ride their scooters and bicycles. Place for people to hang out and bring the chairs off the fire pit and grab a guitar and sing a few Kumbaya songs. We got additional parking now for guys that want to bring their trailers with their Harley Davidsons. We've got a flex space that looks like a pickleball court but can be so much more. So if you say, well, I don't want to play pickleball when I go to the cabin, you're still going to purpose that space for something else, whether it's hopscotch, playing with chalk with your little girls out there, having something where people can get out of their cabin and enjoy the Smoky Mountains and not have to leave seems to be the key factor for how many views our cabins get when they go to market, and then ultimately what they bring on the offering table. If you come to the Great Smoky Mountains, you don't want to be cooped up inside of your movie room all day. You guys want to get out and enjoy it and see the smoke and see the bears and if you're from the beach, you get to come up and get some pollen.
Yeah, everybody needs a little pollen in their life.
Everybody needs a little pollen so that you appreciate the areas that don't have it.
Right. So, how much would a space like that run an investor?
Well, it all depends on their
Average.
lands.
Right.
If we were at the beach, we could do pretty blanket statements here, but
It,
given that most of these are going to be in a critical slope lot, some are more challenging than others, but we've done them as low as 18,000 up to about 38,000, depending
right.
on how expansive, what type of pickleball court. I mean, we've got resources to bring, full commercial courts in to where it's as good or better as what you'd go down to your city park and play on.
Really. That's a big deal. Big deal. So, what else? How hard is it to get to the closing table these days?
Well, it depends on.
Let's go to residential. Let's go to residential houses. We'll get away from most of the investors. They're already financially. They're kind of clued in. They're clued into what's going on. So, some of these first-time home buyers that you're selling to.
Yeah, you're exactly right. A lot of your investors, they kind of know how to run the numbers and get all that stuff sorted out before you get that far along. But when you run into your first-time home buyers or even home buyers that haven't bought a house in a long time, the process has completely changed. It's a lot different than it used to be, from restrictions to amounts to interest rates. Really, the whole thing has changed. If you haven't bought a house in 10 years, you're going to be looking at a whole different set of challenges. Navigating things like appraisals, learning ways to help your buyer with the inspection processes, offering seller credits to them, helping them understand how they can buy down their mortgage with negotiations in a deal. And a lot of people are wanting to put contingencies on properties that their house sells, and helping them navigate through that as well. The realtors do a great job with it, but we like to try to provide value anywhere that we can and give them some insight.
Yeah, I've seen that on, I don't know, prior last 3 or 4 deals that there's contingencies on their house selling first. So that's coming. That's something that didn't happen 2 years ago, but it's happening now for sure.
Yeah,
so, that's for sure. Building a lasting legacy. What do you want to be known at when Cody Givens coming 65 years old Cody instead of 34-year-old Cody?
Oh man, that's a powerful one.
I know you're a family guy, and I know your family pretty well. So, what's the legacy that you want to pass off?
We want to provide, from a quality standpoint, we want to provide a home that people are going to be proud of for the rest of their life. We want to treat people fairly, and we want to have a great experience. So much of that comes down to communication with your clients and customers, your realtors. And we want to make sure that, we do right by ourselves, by our customers, by our community as well. We also give back to our community, and we're seen as somebody in the community, that's involved and is helpful to people that are in need. And the set of skills and services that I offer, we like to offer those to people that need help, that less fortunate, that we can be of assistance to. And my skill set's pretty tight knit, but we want to look back 30 years from now and know that all the houses that we build are still standing strongly, and that people had a good interaction with us, that we were honest in what we said, we provided a good product for also a good value, a good price. And, we want to uphold our name. Atlas is a strong name. And,
strong name. Big guy on it.
That's right. He's holding up the world right there. So
holding it up. That's right. That's right, for sure. So you've dealt with investors and stuff. So if somebody wanted to invest in East Tennessee, how can they get a hold of you, and what kind of services would you offer local investors? Maybe
Absolutely.
You team up or something.
Yeah, they can call in the office, and whatever it is that they're looking to do, we can help them, whether it's to partner and build cabins together, if it's to buy cabins that we're already have built that are turnkey and ready to go, furnished on a rental program, if it's somebody looking to invest into a multifamily or looking to invest into single family 3-bed ranchers, same thing. We can custom build them for them, or they can build what we already have finished. We have properties that we do everything, right? So we buy them and we hold them, we buy them and we sell them, we renovate them, we flip them. So anybody that's looking to invest in Smoky Mountains or just, within an hour of Sevier County, they can call in and we can work with them and try to see what their budget is and see what we could get for them and maybe put them in a position where they could buy a house or buy a cabin or build one, that's going to positively cash flow for them and make sure that it's in a good area with good amenities and help them navigate through that process. A lot of the investors that we deal with are out-of-state investors, so they don't have time to come up and check on their projects. So, we provide detailed emails and pictures and walk-through videos so that anytime they have questions about their property, they're able to see exactly what's going on in real time, be updated on the budget, and that alleviates a lot of questions and concerns, and it ultimately builds trust between me and my customers as well. Because if I build a house for an investor or sell one to an investor, I anticipate that to be an ongoing relationship. We're not looking to have any one and done relationships here, so making sure that they're happy so that they come right back here when they need anything else.
Right. Make you money.
That's right.
Right.
Making money is good for everybody. So if
It's
there's only
good
one
for
person who
everybody.
deal
That's
making
true.
money, it's not a good deal. It's only a win-win if everybody's winning.
That's right. So how can they get a hold of you? Do you have a website?
We have got Facebook and Instagram currently.
All right. Atlas Builders, Facebook
That's
and
correct.
Instagram. Cody Givens. All right, man. Buddy, I appreciate you coming on today and talking a little bit, and appreciate your friendship. Love your family. You got two of the cutest girls in the world, I swear, other than my two, of course. But
Yeah, I was gonna
great
say you do
wife.
too.
Great wife, cute girls, and a boy that's going to give you nothing but trouble for, I see, the next probably 16, 18 years. He's going to
He
be
is,
wide open.
He is all boy. He's
That's
about a
great.
man.
That's great. That's great. But appreciate you coming on, and good luck with all your endeavors. And I still think maybe Florida might be in your future. I might be wrong here, but I don't know. Guy knows
I'm an
more
East
about
Tennessee guy. I can try
guy
to
knows
think
more
of
about Disney than old Walt knows himself. So
no, I still make sure my days at Dollywood are higher than my days at Disney.
all right. All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. And give Atlas Builders a call. Or if you need to drink some clean, clear, what's the water statement you got? Better,
Yeah,
cleaner, clear? Just
better, wetter water. I mean,
better. The best, wetter water that I've ever put in my mouth come from
that's
Atlas
right.
Well. There
That
you
is
go, well
exactly
drillers.
right.
All right, Cody, I appreciate you, and we'll see you guys the next time.
All right, Chad. Thanks for having me on. We'll see you later.
Well, that's a wrap for this episode of Call Us Old Podcast. If you got value for this, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss an episode. Drop a comment below on your thoughts or questions about the auction market. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.